Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a little video about the essentials and must-haves that I have bought and or already had for my third year doing Open University. It's not a very comprehensive list purely because over the last couple of years I've kind of weeded out anything that I didn't need. There are things that I'd bought previously that I haven't repurchased this year because I just haven't used them. But yeah, I'm going to talk you through everything that I've bought or had for my third year at university. So starting with the obvious one, a pencil case. I've had this pencil case since I started my degree. I think I got it in the works or something like that, really cheaply, but it works. The first thing that I kind of use in here are my ballpoint pens. So I have a variety of colours. I have black, blue, red, and I have a purple one just because it writes nicely. So sometimes I use purple writing. Along the same kind of line as biros, I also have a couple of pencils. These are good, especially if I'm having to draw diagrams and things. So last year I had a very sciencey module which involved drawing synapses and images of the brain and things like that. And my artistic skills leave a lot to be desired. So pencil was handy then. I also have a ruler just in case there's any graphs or also underlining headers, drawing up tables and things like that. And then the next one is things that I use all the time, which I feel like is a bit of a given. We've got another one, yes. And that is my highlighters. So I picked these up really cheaply from Amazon. I'll pop the link in the description. I just really like them because they're pastel colours and they're not as harsh. And they're just all round a bit pretty. I'm a bit vain like that. And then I also have a variety of coloured pens. I use these for headers and things in my books when I make notes. So some of them are like glitter pens like this one. And then I also have just plain normal felt tip pens. So that is everything that is in my pencil case. I wasn't sure about putting these in because I bought these in my first year and I haven't really used them. But that being said, the times I have used them, they've been good. So I do sometimes, if there's a particular topic that stands out for me, I'll write it down on a record card and staple it into my like normal notebook as like an extra reminder, I suppose. I also did this last year because I was meant to have an exam, so topics that I thought I'd need to revise more, I wrote up my record cards as I went so that they were all done and I didn't have to kind of go back and do it again towards the end of the year. But then there was a pandemic and my exams got cancelled and that was all for nothing. So I'm really glad that I tried to think ahead and outside the box and it kind of blew up on my face. But it might be useful for somebody who isn't going to have all their exams cancelled and finds it hard to kind of write everything out on record cards at breakneck speed. The next thing I use is a diary. It's nothing fancy, it's just a combination thing. I think I picked this up from Typo. It was in their sale. But I like this one because it's got the month per view like this. So I write in my assignment dates. But then it just has 3 pages afterwards. It's got lined one. So this page has got lines on it. The next one I think is dotted. Can't even get the thing. Yeah, so it's got a dotted one and then the one after that is squared. So they're really good for jotting down like notes and stuff, to-dos, etc. Bits like that. So I carry this with me all the time just in case something comes up. And I can look at what my kind of study schedule is looking like. The next thing is kind of obvious and that is, my study book. So this isn't all of them, there is one more, but for argument's sake I just thought I'd show you these two. So obviously these are given to me by the university, I haven't had to go out and find them. There are obviously extra books that you may want to buy for your course, so they'll have like a recommended reading list and they have like further reading in the backs of these chapters for if there's something that you found particularly interesting, you can go away and find it yourself. So that's something else. Moving on to notebooks, so I get 2 kinds of notebooks. I have normal ring bound ones. I've bought the same kind of style of ones every year, and they're from Typo. They're not that expensive, so these are £3.50 each, but they often have like 4 for £5 or £6 or something like that, so you can stock up. I tend to buy one for each module just because it makes them easier to distinguish, so I'll know that this one is for module A and this one's for module B. In addition to that, this year, because I know I have my project coming up, which is kind of like my dissertation, I also bought these 2 dotted notebooks because I just thought they would be really handy for kind of noting down things for my dissertation. So I picked up one for any articles and things that I find, and this one for ideas and things. I'm not sure what type of project I'm doing for my dissertation yet. I don't know if it's going to be like a quantitative experiment, or if I'm going to do a survey, or whether or not it's going to be text-based. But the dotted one kind of allows me to have all of those options open. If it is quantitative and I need to draw out graphs and stuff, then I can do that quite easily in the dots, but otherwise it still works really well for the other purposes. The last thing that I always use, which is again another obvious one, is my laptop. So I don't have a fancy laptop. I bought this one before I started my degree, and it's done me pretty well since. It's a HP, just a bog standard PC. I don't use Microsoft, so that is the kind of most popular thing if you're on like a PC, you don't have a MacBook, is Microsoft, like Word, PowerPoint and Excel. I don't use that. I actually use Google Drive, so I use their Google Docs and all of that, because I just think it's easier to have it all stored somewhere. I always would worry that my laptop would implode or something like that and I'd lose everything. So by doing it through Google Drive, I always have access to it. So if I don't know, I realise that, oh my god, this was due in and I need to send it, but I've left my laptop somewhere, I can still access it from anywhere. So that's just my preference. That's why I use Google Drive and not Microsoft. I can't think of what the word is. It's like a package. I think it's Microsoft Office Home and Student or something like that. In my opinion, it's kind of a bit of a waste of money, but each their own. Some people prefer Word and PowerPoint because they've used it for their whole life. But I'd say if you can, get on with Docs. You can actually export Google Docs as either a PDF or a document, like a Microsoft doc. So if your particular university will only let you submit in Microsoft format or PDF format, then you can save it as those as well. Yeah, so it's a bit of an all-rounder, really. Yeah, so that is everything, I think, that I will be using in my 3rd year, apart from the limited brain capacity that I have at the moment. And yeah, if there's anything else that you think is an essential for somebody studying at university, then drop it in a comment below, so that other people can see it. And yeah, good luck with your studies, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.